Before we begin, if you love emotional stories that touch your heart and stay with you long after the video ends, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because stories like this, the kind that make you pause, breathe, and feel something real, are exactly what we share here. Now let me tell you something that changed my life forever. Something that started with an old, dusty shoebox and ended with my mother getting her second chance at love. Laura, my mom, always lived her life like she was racing against time. Every single day, from the moment the sun even hinted at rising, she was already awake, moving, working, surviving. The kitchen would come alive before I even opened my eyes. The metallic clatter of pans, the soft whistle of boiling water, the smell of coffee drifting down the hallway like a warm invitation. That smell was my childhood. Coffee, toast, cinnamon, and sacrifice. Always sacrifice. She moved fast, like slowing down might break something inside her. Packing lunches, folding laundry, checking bills, answering work emails. All before 7 a.m. Sometimes I'd just stand there and watch her. Hair tied back carelessly, sleeves rolled up, dark circles under her eyes she thought I didn't notice. But I noticed everything. Because when you grow up with a single mom, you learn to notice. She never complained. Not once. Not about the double shifts. Not about the missed vacations. Not about the fact that she hadn't bought new clothes for herself in years. If anything, she'd just smile and say, "We're doing okay, sweetheart. That's what matters." But there were moments, quiet ones, when she thought no one was looking. After dinner, dishes done, house silent, she would sit by the window, just stare outside, like she was watching a train that had already left without her. Her eyes would go distant, lost somewhere I couldn't follow. And every time I saw that look, my chest tightened. Because that wasn't tiredness. It was something else. Something heavier. Something like regret. Then came the rainy Tuesday that changed everything. I remember it clearly. School was canceled because of the storm, and I was bored out of my mind. So I decided to clean the attic. Bad idea. Dust everywhere. Old boxes. Broken lamps. Memories stuffed into corners. But then, I found it. A small, faded shoebox tucked behind an old suitcase. It didn't look like much. Just another forgotten piece of junk. But when I picked it up, it felt different. Heavier. Important. Like it had a heartbeat. Inside were old report cards, baby pictures, tiny socks. And then, letters. Dozens of them. Tied together with a thin blue ribbon. My name wasn't on them. But hers was. Laura. Written in elegant, careful handwriting. And every single letter started the same way. My dearest Laura. My heart started pounding. I knew I shouldn't read them. I really shouldn't. But curiosity won. It always does. So I opened one. Then another. Then another. And suddenly, I wasn't just reading letters. I was reading a love story. They talked about things I had never heard my mom mention before. A county fair. A broken Ferris wheel that got them stuck at the top for 20 minutes. Sharing one giant cinnamon roll because they were broke. Dancing in the rain like idiots. Dreaming about Paris. About traveling. About a future together. I couldn't believe it. This woman, this tired, overworked, practical woman, had once been wild and young and in love. And the way he wrote about her, God, like she was magic. Like she was the center of his entire universe. His name was Daniel. Every letter was full of warmth, hope, plans, promises. But then, the tone changed. His family wanted him to move away. Business opportunity, pressure, obligations. He didn't want to go, but he had to. The last letter. It hurt to read. "Please wait for me. I'll come back for you. I promise." And then, nothing. No more letters. Just silence. 22 years of silence. And suddenly, everything made sense. The window stares. The quiet sadness. The life she never talked about. Daniel wasn't just an old boyfriend. He was her unfinished story. Her what if. Her almost. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, what if he never stopped loving her? What if she never stopped loving him? What if both of them were alone? Because of a misunderstanding? I had to know. So I searched. Social media. Old records. Google. Anything. And somehow, I found him. Daniel Peterson. Architect. Owned a small firm a few states away. There was a photo. Older. Gray hair. Lines on his face. But the eyes. Kind. Gentle. The kind of eyes that write love letters. My hands shook as I stared at the screen. Should I do this? Was I interfering? Or was I fixing something that life broke? After hours of debating, I opened my email and typed, "Are you the Daniel who knew Laura Collins from Millwood 22 years ago?" I hit send. Instant regret. Instant panique. Then, reply. Less than an hour later. Just 3 words. Is she okay? That's it. No hesitación. No confusión. Just worry. After 22 years. And that's when I knew. After reading his reply, I just stared at the screen. 3 words. That's all it took. Is she okay? Not. Who is this? Not. Why are you contacting me? Just worry. Pure. Immediate. Instinctive worry. Like 22 years hadn't passed at all. Like he had been holding his breath this entire time. Waiting for someone to finally say her name again. My throat tightened. Because people don't react like that unless the love never really died. I sat there for a long time. Fingers hovering above the keyboard, unsure what to say next. How do you respond to a man who might have loved your mother more than anyone ever did? How do you explain that you exist? That you're her son? That her life went on? But maybe her heart didn't? Finally, I typed. Slowly. Carefully. Like each word mattered. Yes, she's okay. She's strong. She works too much. She doesn't sleep enough. But she's okay. My name is Ethan. I'm her son. I found your letters. I deleted it 3 times before sending it. It didn't feel big enough. Didn't feel emotional enough. But what else could I say? So I pressed send. And waited. The waiting was torture. Every second stretched forever. I kept imagining him reading it. Where was he sitting? At a desk? In an office? Did his hands shake like mine? Did he whisper her name out loud? Then. Another email. Longer this time. Much longer. I opened it. And started reading. He told me everything. Things my mom never had. Things she probably couldn't bear to talk about. After he moved away, he kept writing to her. Every week. Sometimes twice. But he never got replies. He thought she stopped loving him. Thought she moved on. Thought maybe he meant more to her than she did to him. So eventually, his letters slowed. Then stopped. But here's the part that made my chest ache. Years later, he discovered the truth. His own family had hidden her letters. Intercepted them. Because they didn't want him tied down. Didn't want small-town love ruining their big plans. They told him she had forgotten him. Told him she'd found someone else. And he believed them. Because what else could he believe? He wrote. I waited for her longer than I should admit. I used to check the mailbox every day like an idiot. I kept thinking maybe one day there'd be a letter explaining everything. I swallowed hard. He continued. He said he tried dating. Tried moving on. But no one ever felt right. No one ever felt like her. He never married. Never had kids. Just work. Buildings. Empty apartments. Quiet nights. And memories. So many memories. Then the line that broke me completely. I never stopped wondering if she was happy. I just hoped life had been kinder to her than it was to me. I had to wipe my eyes before finishing. Because suddenly, this wasn't just my mom's story. It was his too. 2 people. Both alone. Both thinking the other had forgotten. Both suffering because of a lie. For 22 years. 22 years stolen. Just like that. And I sat there thinking, how many lives get ruined because of misunderstandings? How many love stories and not because they should, but because someone never delivered a letter? We started emailing every day after that. Sometimes late at night. Sometimes early morning. Like we were both afraid time would run out again. I told him about her. How she makes pancakes shaped like hearts even when she's exhausted. How she sings old songs while cleaning. How she pretends she doesn't like birthday surprises, but secretly loves them. How she still keeps everything I ever made her in school. Every drawing. Every ugly clay sculpture. Everything. And he told me about her too. But a different version. A younger version. The girl I never met. The girl before life got heavy. He told me how she used to sneak him into the movies without paying. How she laughed so hard she'd snort. How she wanted to see the Eiffel Tower someday. How she once cried because she stepped on a butterfly by accident. I just sat there stunned. Because that didn't sound like my tired, quiet mom. That sounded like someone bright. Someone fearless. Someone alive. It felt like discovering your parent had another life before you existed. Like realizing they weren't always mom or dad. They were once just people. With dreams. With love. With stories. And maybe with heartbreaks they never healed from. One night, after hours of talking, he wrote something that stuck with me. If I could just see her once, even from across the street, just to know she's real, I think I could finally breathe again. That's when the idea hit me. Sudden. Crazy. Risky. But perfect. What if they didn't just see each other? What if they met? Not through screens. Not through letters. But face to face. Like they should have years ago. At first, it sounded ridiculous. Like something out of a movie. But the more I thought about it, the more it felt right. Because life doesn't give second chances often. And when it does, you don't ignore them. I remembered something from one of his old letters. The cinnamon roll. He wrote about it 3 different times. This one tiny memory. How they shared it. How sticky the icing was. How she laughed with frosting on her nose. It seemed small. But love stories are built on small things. Not grand gestures. Moments. Simple ones. So I had an idea. Every Saturday morning, Mom and I sometimes passed this little bakery downtown. She loved it. Said it reminded her of old times. I never knew what that meant. Now I did. They sold giant cinnamon rolls. Huge ones. Almost the size of dinner plates. Just like the fair. Just like his letter. My heart started racing. This could work. This could actually work. So I emailed him. Can you come here this Saturday? There was a long pause. Then, yes. Anytime. Just tell me where. No hesitation. No questions. Just yes. Like he'd been waiting 22 years to say that word. I told him the bakery. The time. The table near the window. And I wrote. Don't call her. Don't message her. Just come. Trust me. He replied. I trust you. I don't know why. But that hit me hard. This man trusted a stranger. Because that stranger was her son. Because somehow, we were already connected. The whole week felt unreal. Like I was planning something huge. Something that could either heal everything. Or break her heart all over again. What if she got angry? What if she didn't want to see him? What if I was reopening wounds she'd buried for a reason? I barely slept. But every time doubt crept in, I remembered that look she gave the window. That empty, faraway stare. And I knew. Doing nothing would hurt more than trying. Sometimes you have to risk tears. To give someone happiness. Saturday finally arrived. And I woke up before my alarm. My stomach in knots. My heart racing. Today was the day. The day 2 broken timelines might finally reconnect. The day the past would walk through a door. And everything could change. I stood outside her bedroom for a second. Took a breath. Then knocked. Mom. Want to go get breakfast? My treat. She looked confused. Breakfast? This early? Yeah, just us. Like old times. She studied me. Then smiled softly. That tired but beautiful smile. Okay, sweetie. And just like that, the plan was in motion. He never stopped loving her either.